Trading is not about indicators, charts, or strategies alone. It is about the lens through which you see the market, the assumptions you carry into every trade, and the beliefs that quietly guide your decisions. Every trader enters the market with a story in their mind, a story about what the market should do, what a winning trade feels like, and what it means about them if they lose. These beliefs are invisible, yet they are more powerful than any trading system you could ever follow. What you believe about the market shapes every action you take, every risk you accept, and every reaction to gain or loss. If you believe the market is always out to get you, your trades will be defensive, hesitant, and inconsistent. If you believe that every loss is a personal failure, fear will control your position sizing and timing. And if you believe that profits define your worth, greed will push you into trades that violate your rules. The truth is, markets are neutral. They do not know you exist. They do not care about your plans, expectations, or fears. What matters is your internal map, your beliefs, and how accurately it reflects the probabilistic nature of trading. Traders who consistently win are not immune to loss. They simply operate from a mindset that accepts uncertainty, respects probability, and understands that beliefs shape behavior more than any setup ever could. To change your results, you must first change the beliefs that drive your actions. This is not about forcing discipline or following rules blindly. It is about aligning your inner world with the market reality. When your beliefs support rational thinking and emotional control, consistency is no longer elusive. It becomes a natural outcome. Every trade is a mirror, reflecting the beliefs you hold. If you want to change your trading life, you must examine, challenge, and reshape the beliefs that silently dictate your results. Your path to mastery begins not with a new indicator or system, but with a deep understanding that your mind is the true market you must learn to trade. Every trade you place is a reflection of what you believe, not what you hope, not what you wish, not what your indicators suggest, but what you genuinely believe. The market does not respond to your strategy, your analysis, or your intentions. It responds to probability, randomness, and the collective behavior of countless participants. What controls your experience in that environment is not the chart pattern, not the moving average, and not the news. It is the internal map you carry with you into the market. Think about it. Two traders can sit in front of the same chart, looking at the same signals, the same market conditions, and one will make money while the other loses. They are following the same system, but their results are drastically different. Why? Because their beliefs create their reality. One believes the market is neutral, that every trade is a probability event, and that losses are a natural part of trading. The other believes the market is out to get them, that losses define their competence, and that success must be forced. One is free to act decisively, the other is trapped in hesitation, fear, and reactive impulses. The difference is not the market, it is belief. Beliefs act as filters for perception. They determine what you notice, how you interpret it, and how you respond. If you believe a trade must win to validate your worth, then every minor fluctuation becomes a threat. The chart that should be a neutral signal feels like a test of your identity. Every pullback triggers anxiety. Every drawdown feels catastrophic, and every missed opportunity turns into regret. Conversely, if you believe the market is a probabilistic environment and that no single trade defines you, you see the same chart as a set of possibilities. Pullbacks are part of the game, losses are expected, and opportunities are abundant. Your mind is calm, focused, and able to act without emotional interference. This is why so many traders blame the market or their systems when they fail. They cannot see that the real barrier to success is not external, it is internal. Their beliefs about themselves, about risk, and about the market are creating a reality where inconsistency, fear, and frustration thrive. A trader who believes they are unlucky will find evidence of that luck every day. A trader who believes they are incapable of controlling emotions will feel overwhelmed every time the market moves. Beliefs are not passive. They are self-fulfilling prophecies. They shape your expectations, your emotions, your decisions, and ultimately your results. The problem is that most beliefs operate beneath conscious awareness. You may think you are rational, logical, and disciplined, but your subconscious beliefs are quietly directing your actions. A trader can memorize rules, follow checklists, and practice endlessly, yet if they believe deep down that the market is dangerous or that losses are unacceptable, they will never trade with true freedom. Every hesitation, every second guess, every premature exit is the product of belief, not logic. You cannot outtrade your mind until you understand the beliefs that are running it. Changing your results begins with changing your beliefs. This is not easy, because beliefs are not just thoughts. They are deeply ingrained convictions shaped by experience, culture, education, and early encounters with risk and success. But it is possible. It begins with awareness, noticing what you believe, observing how those beliefs affect your behavior, and asking yourself whether those beliefs serve your goals. Do you believe that you need to be right to succeed? Do you believe that every loss is a personal failure? Do you believe that consistency is a product of time spent trading rather than the result of controlled thought and emotion? If so, these beliefs are shaping your reality in ways that limit your potential. Once you recognize these beliefs, the next step is to challenge them. The market does not care about your need to be right. Losses do not define you. Time spent in the market does not guarantee success. These are not just statements. They are invitations to shift your internal framework. When you challenge limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering ones, your behavior changes naturally. You begin to see each trade as a discrete probability event, emotionally neutral and objectively analyzable. You stop fighting the market and start working with it. You stop letting fear and hope dictate decisions and start letting logic and process guide action. Beliefs shape reality because they shape expectations. If you expect to fail, failure becomes more likely because your actions unconsciously align with that expectation. If you expect to succeed through preparation, discipline, and probabilistic thinking, success becomes more likely because your behavior aligns with those expectations. This is not magical thinking. It is behavioral psychology. The market reacts in the same way to your actions regardless of your beliefs. But your actions are governed by what you believe is possible, acceptable, and controllable. Emotions are the bridge between belief and reality. They are the indicators that show you where your beliefs are in conflict with reality. Anxiety, frustration, greed, and hope are not caused by the market. They are caused by the clash between what you believe and what is happening. If you believe a trade must succeed, anxiety appears when it does not. If you believe a loss is catastrophic, fear surfaces at every minor setback. If you believe that you cannot handle risk, hesitation will slow every decision. Conversely, if your beliefs are aligned with probabilistic thinking and emotional neutrality, your emotions provide clarity rather than interference. You respond to opportunity with calm, decisive action rather than reactionary fear or hope. Consistency, then, is the natural result of aligned beliefs. A trader who believes that trading is about probabilities, not certainties, that losses are part of the game, and that discipline creates opportunity, will naturally follow rules, manage risk, and execute trades without emotional distortion. They do not need to force consistency. It emerges organically because their internal environment supports it. Belief drives behavior, behavior produces results, and results reinforce belief. This is the feedback loop that successful traders understand and utilize consciously. Changing beliefs requires practice and patience. You cannot wish your way into a new mindset. You must observe your reactions, question your assumptions, and gradually replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. You can practice by reviewing trades not only for technical performance, but for the beliefs that guided you. Our decisions. Ask yourself, what did I expect? How did my beliefs about risk, reward, or myself influence this trade? How did those beliefs affect my emotions and actions? By consistently reflecting in this way, you can begin to see patterns, isolate limiting beliefs, and consciously choose new ones. It is also essential to remember that the market is the ultimate teacher. Every trade, every win, and every loss is a mirror reflecting the state of your beliefs. Profits do not validate beliefs, and losses do not condemn them. They simply provide feedback. A trader who understands this uses outcomes as information rather than judgment. When a trade loses, they ask, what belief did this reveal, and how can I use that information to improve? When a trade wins, they ask, what belief allowed me to act in alignment with probability and process? In this way, every market experience becomes a tool for refining the beliefs that create reality. Ultimately, mastery in trading is not mastery over the market, it is mastery over the mind. Every rule, strategy, and system is secondary to the beliefs that guide behavior. Your reality in trading, the wins and losses, the anxiety and confidence, the consistency and chaos, all are created first in the mind and then reflected in the market. By understanding that your beliefs shape your trading reality, you take control of the one thing you can control, yourself. You become the architect of your results rather than a passive participant in market. Chaos. The journey is not about perfection. It is about awareness, choice, and alignment. Every trader makes mistakes, experiences loss, and encounters uncertainty. But those who understand the power of belief navigate these challenges with clarity and resilience. They recognize that their thoughts, assumptions, and convictions are not abstract. They are the very tools that construct their trading world. By consciously shaping beliefs, by aligning expectations with reality, and by allowing behavior to follow from empowered thought, they create a trading life defined not by randomness or luck, but by skillful, consistent execution. In the end, your beliefs are the lens through which you perceive opportunity and risk, the filter through which you interpret success and failure, and the foundation upon which every result is built. Change the lens, and the market itself begins to look different. Change the beliefs, and your results follow. The market remains neutral, unpredictable, and unforgiving, but your reality becomes something you can influence, manage, and excel within. It all begins with what you believe. Every trader experiences the market through a lens of emotion. This lens is invisible, yet it colors every observation, every decision, and every reaction. It is not the market that causes emotional turmoil. It is the way the mind interprets what is happening. Fear, hope, frustration, and greed are not random. They are signals that reveal the underlying filters through which you perceive reality. These emotional filters distort outcome perception, and when they dominate your thinking, they create a version of the market that is more imagined than real. Consider this. Two traders sit at the same screen, watching the same price action, yet they see entirely different stories. One sees opportunity, controlled risk, and probability. The other sees threat, potential failure, and uncertainty. Why? Because their internal emotional filters are different. The first trader's mind is aligned with objective reality. The second's is dominated by anxiety, expectation, and attachment. The charts themselves have not changed. The market has not moved differently, but the perception of the market has been radically altered. This is the power and danger of emotional filters. Emotions are not obstacles to trading. They are indicators of the beliefs and mental patterns that shape perception. When a trader experiences fear, it is rarely the market itself that is frightening. Fear arises from an internal belief that a loss is catastrophic, that missing a trade is unacceptable, or that the market can somehow get even with them. Hope, on the other hand, often emerges when a trader believes that a win is required to validate worth or that luck can be controlled. These emotional reactions are not accurate reflections of market truth. They are distortions created by the mind's internal filters. The distortion begins subtly. A small loss feels larger than it is. A minor gain feels fleeting or insignificant. A drawdown triggers worry, even when risk parameters were respected. Each emotional reaction rewires perception, creating a feedback loop that magnifies mistakes and diminishes clarity. Traders who are unaware of these filters often blame external factors, the market, the system, or the news, for outcomes that are entirely shaped by internal interpretation. The truth is that the market is neutral. It moves according to its own rules. It does not respond to your fear, hope, or expectation. What responds to your internal state is your behavior, the timing of entries, the management of risk, and the decision to exit or hold a position. Emotional filters are closely tied to belief systems. What you believe about yourself, the market, and risk determines how you emotionally perceive outcomes. If you believe a loss is a failure, every loss triggers anxiety, defensiveness, and hesitation. If you believe the market is a test of skill rather than a probabilistic environment, every uncertainty feels like a threat rather than a natural occurrence. If you believe that profits define competence, every small win is overshadowed by fear of loss or doubt about sustainability. These beliefs do not just influence perception, they dictate it. They create an internal reality that may have little resemblance to the objective conditions of the market. The danger is that these emotional distortions compound over time. One fear-based decision leads to another. One hope-driven action creates a chain of attachment and overexposure. One misinterpreted loss reinforces limiting beliefs. The trader becomes trapped in a cycle where perception and emotion dominate behavior, and behavior dictates results. In this environment, consistency is impossible. Even the best strategy or system cannot overcome the bias of an emotionally filtered mind. The first step in overcoming distorted perception is awareness. Traders must observe their emotional responses without judgment. Notice how fear, hope, frustration, or excitement arises during trading. Identify what beliefs are fueling these emotions. Ask, what am I truly reacting to? Is this reaction a reflection of the market, or is it a reflection of my internal assumptions? By creating this awareness, traders begin to separate fact from interpretation. They begin to see the market as it is, rather than as their fears or desires make it appear. The next step is acceptance. Emotional responses are natural. They cannot be eliminated entirely, and attempting to suppress them often makes them stronger. Instead, traders must accept emotions as information, not commands. Fear tells you where your beliefs may be misaligned. Hope shows where attachment may exist. Frustration highlights where expectations are unrealistic. By treating emotions as signals rather than directives, traders can respond with calm, deliberate action rather than reactive behavior. Training the mind to perceive the market accurately requires consistent practice. It is not a matter of thinking positively or forcing discipline. It is a matter of aligning beliefs with probabilistic reality and allowing behavior to follow. Traders can practice observing trades with emotional neutrality, reviewing outcomes objectively, and asking, did my behavior reflect market conditions or emotional distortion? Over time, this practice retrains the mind. Emotional filters lose their power to dictate perception, and clarity emerges. One common example of distortion is overreacting to loss. A trader experiences a losing trade and immediately interprets it as failure, incompetence, or a sign that the market is against them. This emotional filter amplifies the impact of the loss, causing hesitation, revenge trading, or avoidance. Objectively, the trade may have been perfectly executed according to risk parameters and probabilities, yet the internal perception has transformed it into a catastrophe. Emotional filters are deceptive because they feel real, urgent, and true, but they are constructed internally, not delivered externally. Another example is attachment to profit. When traders become emotionally attached to gains, every price move is filtered through hope and fear. Small pullbacks feel like threats. Minor gains feel fragile. Decisions are no longer guided by probability, they are influenced by desire and expectation. The market itself has not changed. Only the trader's perception has been altered by the emotional lens they wear. The solution is not to eliminate emotion, but to align perception with reality. This begins by understanding that the market is neutral, outcomes are probabilistic, and every trade is a single event in a series. Emotional filters are strongest when traders focus on single trades rather than the bigger picture. A loss is devastating only when it is interpreted as a defining event. A gain is fragile only when it is treated as proof of skill rather than a probabilistic outcome. By shifting focus to series thinking and probabilistic awareness, traders weaken the distortive power of emotion. Journaling, self-reflection, and mindful observation are powerful tools in this process. Recording trades is not just about entries, exits, or profits. It is about the emotional state during each decision. Note the fears, hopes, and biases present. Observe patterns over time. Ask which emotions consistently distort perception, which beliefs are triggering these distortions. By systematically identifying these filters, traders gain the insight needed to adjust beliefs and behaviors consciously. Emotional filters can also be managed through process-oriented thinking. When a trader focuses on following a disciplined process rather than chasing outcomes, emotion shifts from reaction to observation. The process becomes the anchor. Decisions are evaluated based on rules and probability rather than momentary feelings. Fear and hope lose their authority, and perception aligns more closely with reality. This is why consistent traders emphasize procedure over prediction, action over attachment, and discipline over desire. Ultimately, emotional filters are the gatekeepers between the mind and market truth. They can distort perception, amplify risk, and sabotage results, or they can provide insight, guidance, and clarity, depending on how they are understood and managed. Traders who succeed understand that mastery is not about controlling the market, it is about controlling perception. It is about recognizing the invisible filters that color every observation and decision. It is about shaping beliefs to support objective interpretation. training emotional responses to signal rather than command, and creating a mental environment where clarity and rationality can thrive. Every market experience becomes an opportunity to refine perception. Losses are feedback, not judgment. Gains are information, not validation. Price action is neutral, yet it reveals the state of your internal filters. By observing emotional responses, identifying limiting beliefs, and practicing alignment with probabilistic reality, traders gradually dismantle the distortions that compromise decision-making. In this process, clarity replaces confusion, consistency replaces chaos, and results begin to reflect skill rather than chance. Emotional filters cannot be ignored. They will always influence perception, but they can be understood, respected, and managed. When a trader learns to see the market through a lens of reality rather than the lens of fear, hope, or attachment, the world of trading changes. Losses become manageable. Gains become predictable in expectation. Each trade is evaluated objectively, and decisions flow from probability and process rather than emotional reaction. This is the essence of mastery: perceiving outcomes clearly, responding deliberately, and allowing consistency to emerge naturally from an aligned mind. In the end, distorted perception is not the fault of the market, the system, or luck. It is the product of internal filters that shape how reality is experienced. By acknowledging these filters, observing them without judgment, and training the mind to align belief, emotion, and action, traders transform not only their perception of the market but their entire trading reality. Clarity emerges where distortion once reigned, consistency follows where chaos once dominated, and results begin to reflect the skill, preparation, and rationality that were always within the trader, but hidden behind the veil of emotional distortion. Mastering emotional filters is not easy, but it is essential. The market will always be neutral, probabilistic, and unpredictable. Your task is not to control it, it is to see it clearly. Every fear, every hope, every reaction is a window into the beliefs and patterns shaping your perception. Learn from them, adjust them, align them with reality. In doing so, you transform not only your perception but your performance. Create a trading life guided by clarity, discipline, and confidence. Consistency in trading is not a product of luck, skill, or even strategy alone. It is the natural outcome of empowered beliefs. Every action you take in the market, every decision to enter or exit, every management of risk is filtered through your beliefs. These beliefs, whether consciously recognized or buried deep within your subconscious, dictate your emotional state, your decision-making process, and ultimately, your results. When beliefs are aligned with reality and probability, consistency emerges, not as a forced effort, but as a natural reflection of your inner mindset. Many traders chase consistency as if it is something external, a particular setup, a specific system, or the right market conditions. They believe that if they follow a set of rules perfectly, results will automatically follow. But the truth is deeper. Rules and systems are neutral tools. They are effective only when your beliefs support their correct application. If your beliefs are rooted in fear, doubt, or attachment, you will hesitate, second-guess, or deviate, no matter how sound your strategy may be. True consistency comes from the internal world, from the beliefs that guide your perception and action. Beliefs function as the foundation of all behavior. They answer the silent questions your mind constantly asks: can I handle this risk? Do I deserve to succeed? Is a loss acceptable? The answers you give, often unconsciously, ape your approach to every trade. A trader who believes that losses are part of the process will approach each trade with calm and focus. They will manage risk effectively, follow their plan, and avoid emotional interference. A trader who believes that losses are catastrophic will act differently. They will overmanage, hesitate, or abandon their rules at the first sign of adversity. The outcomes are not caused by the market, they are caused by belief. Empowered beliefs are those that support rational thinking, emotional control, and probabilistic reasoning. They are beliefs that allow you to see the market objectively, accept uncertainty, and act consistently without being swayed by fear or hope. Examples of empowered beliefs include: losses are part of trading, not a reflection of my worth. Consistency is built over many trades, not a single outcome, and I can control my behavior even if I cannot control the market. These beliefs create a mental environment where disciplined action flows naturally, where decisions are guided by logic rather than emotion, and where results reflect skill rather than chance. One of the most powerful aspects of empowered beliefs is that they reframe risk. Risk is often viewed as a threat, something to be feared and avoided. When traders operate from this perspective, their behavior is reactive, defensive, and inconsistent. But when beliefs are empowered, risk becomes a tool, a necessary part of the probabilistic game of trading. Traders with empowered beliefs understand that losses are inevitable, expected, and manageable. They do not attempt to eliminate risk entirely, they manage it intelligently, knowing that consistency is the result of controlled exposure, not avoidance of uncertainty. Empowered beliefs also allow traders to maintain emotional neutrality. Fear and hope are the enemies of consistency because they distort perception and trigger reactive behavior. When beliefs are aligned with probabilistic thinking, these emotions no longer dominate decision-making. Fear signals where attention may be needed, but it does not dictate action. Hope becomes observation rather than attachment. The mind is free to respond to the market rather than react to imagined threats or desires. In this state, behavior naturally aligns with rules, process, and probability, creating consistent outcomes over time. Another critical element is the belief in process over outcome. Many traders tie their self-worth to profits and losses, leading to attachment, stress, and inconsistent execution. Empowered beliefs shift the focus from individual outcomes to the quality of decisions and adherence to a disciplined process. Consistency emerges because the trader's energy is devoted to actions they can control, entries, exits, risk management, and mindset, rather than outcomes they cannot control. When beliefs support process-oriented thinking, the results take care of themselves. Consistency also requires the belief that improvement is possible. Traders who feel trapped by past losses or failures often operate from disempowering beliefs. I'm not good enough, the market is against me, or I will never figure this out. These beliefs limit perception, reduce confidence, and prevent disciplined execution. Empowered beliefs replace these limitations with possibilities. I can learn from each trade, I can control my behavior, I can develop skills over time. This mindset transforms mistakes from threats into opportunities for feedback, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of growth, learning, and consistent performance. Empowered beliefs are reinforced through practice and reflection. It is not enough to simply affirm positive beliefs. They must be tested, observed, and internalized through experience. Each trade becomes a laboratory for examining how beliefs influence behavior and outcomes. When a loss occurs, the empowered trader asks, "Did I follow my rules? Did I execute according to my plan? Did my beliefs about risk and probability guide my decisions appropriately?" When a win occurs, the question is the same. By consistently observing behavior through the lens of belief, the trader strengthens alignment between mindset and action, reinforcing consistency over time. Beliefs also determine how traders respond to uncertainty. The market is inherently unpredictable. Traders who operate from limiting beliefs perceive uncertainty as danger, leading to overtrading, hesitation, or avoidance. Empowered beliefs, however, view uncertainty as a natural and neutral element of trading. Losses are expected, profits are probabilistic, and no single trade defines competence. This perspective allows for calm, rational decision-making, even in volatile conditions. Consistency emerges because behavior is guided by understanding rather than reaction. Empowered beliefs are the key to handling drawdowns, one of the greatest challenges in trading. Every trader will experience a series of losses, but the consistent trader reacts differently because their beliefs support resilience. They believe that losses are temporary, controllable, and informative. They do not panic, abandon rules, or overcompensate. Instead, they follow the process, manage risk, and observe what the market is teaching them. The result is steady performance, even during adversity, a hallmark of consistency. Beliefs are also contagious internally. If you hold contradictory beliefs, wanting consistency but believing you cannot handle losses, desiring control but fearing uncertainty, the mind is in conflict. Emotional filters activate, perception is distorted, and behavior becomes inconsistent. Empowered beliefs create internal coherence. They align desires, expectations, and actions, allowing behavior to flow naturally. This alignment is the essence of consistent trading, a mind free from internal contradiction, responding rationally to probabilistic conditions. The ultimate insight is that consistency is not something external. It cannot be found in charts, indicators, or strategies alone. Consistency emerges from the inner environment you cultivate. It is a product of beliefs, emotional alignment, and disciplined action. Traders who understand this do not chase luck, attempt to force outcomes, or react to every market move. They operate from empowered beliefs, confident that their behavior, executed with discipline, clarity, and rationality, will produce consistent results over time. Empowered beliefs are not static. They evolve with experience. Each trade provides feedback, revealing where beliefs are aligned and where they are limiting. Reflection and journaling reinforce this evolution. By systematically examining the mental and emotional processes that accompany each decision, traders can refine beliefs, discard disempowering assumptions, and reinforce those that promote clarity, rationality, and resilience. Over time, this creates a stable, self-reinforcing framework that naturally produces consistency. Ultimately, empowered beliefs allow traders to view the market with clarity and confidence. Losses are not threats, wins are not validations, and uncertainty is not danger. Each trade is an opportunity to apply rules, manage risk, and act in alignment with probabilistic reality. Emotional filters are minimized, perception is accurate, and behavior flows from rational thought. This is the foundation of consistency, not luck, not skill, not a perfect system, but a mind trained to act from empowered beliefs. Consistency emerges because empowered beliefs create a mental environment in which disciplined, rational, and probability-based actions are natural. When behavior aligns with these beliefs, results reflect the quality of execution rather than chance. When beliefs falter, results fluctuate. When beliefs are disempowering, chaos dominates. Therefore, to achieve true consistency, the work must begin internally, examining, shaping, and reinforcing the beliefs that guide perception, emotion, and action. In the end, trading mastery is not measured by profits alone. It is measured by the ability to act consistently in the face of uncertainty, to manage emotions effectively, and to allow empowered beliefs to guide behavior. The market will always be neutral, unpredictable, and probabilistic. Your edge is not in predicting the market. It is in cultivating beliefs that allow your mind to operate clearly, calmly, and consistently within that environment. Consistency is not a skill accrual. Hired externally, it is the natural outcome of empowered beliefs applied in every trade, every decision, and every moment of market engagement. Empowered beliefs create a foundation that cannot be shaken by loss, greed, or uncertainty. They allow perception to be accurate, emotions to be neutral, and behavior to be aligned with probability and process. This is why some traders achieve steady, repeatable results, while others struggle endlessly. The difference is not charts, systems, or luck. It is belief. When beliefs are strong, consistent action becomes effortless. When beliefs are weak, inconsistency dominates, regardless of effort or strategy. Your beliefs are the invisible architecture of your trading reality. They determine what you perceive, how you react, and the decisions you make. They are the engine of behavior and the blueprint of results. By empowering your beliefs, aligning them with probability, acceptance, and rationality, you create the conditions for consistency. Over time, this internal alignment manifests externally as steady, repeatable performance, emotional control, and mastery over the one thing that truly matters in trading, yourself. Consistency is not an event. It is a state, and it emerges naturally from beliefs that are conscious, empowered, and aligned with the truth of the market. Cultivate these beliefs, act in accordance with them, and you will discover that consistent trading is not a goal to be chased. It is a natural reflection of a mind train. D, to see clearly, think probabilistically, and act with discipline in every situation. Consistency, clarity, and success in trading do not come from indicators, systems, or luck. They come from the mind. Your beliefs shape every action, your emotions filter every perception, and your focus on the series rather than single trades determines your long-term results. By consciously aligning beliefs with probabilistic reality, observing emotional responses without judgment, and thinking in terms of process over outcome, you create an environment where disciplined behavior flows naturally. The market remains neutral and unpredictable, but your inner world, the beliefs you hold, the emotions you manage, the decisions you execute, becomes your true edge,